go to a fashion magazine, you'll see a page this big and just black lettering, you know, Jasmine Star. I would love that. I mean, that's just like, you've got to be confident. Like, I'm so good, just my name sells. You know, I mean, I'm not there yet, but that's what you see in fashion magazines. So that's kind of a clean effect is what I like. When I first started, I didn't have very much money, but I wanted personalized stationery because I have this thing for handwritten notes. I love it. That's how I communicate with my clients every step of the way. I talked to a girl at my church who did creative memories, and I said, can you just get me like black thick cardstock? I just want a white ribbon, and can you get thick cardstock with my J-Star logo? All it was a black fold card and then a thin ribbon that went around this way, and so you had to slide the ribbon off. It had the little J-Star logo, and then it was a black card that you unfolded. Very simple, but it wasn't something that I could go to Papyrus or Paper Source, which I love. I mean, God, you give me some cards. I will shop in the card aisle. When we're bored and we're at Target, he'll go shopping, and I'll just stay in the Hallmark aisle and read cards. That's what I do. I am the boringest person. But I value that, and I have to feel that I attract people the same way. So investing a little bit of money, it doesn't have to be fancy, but anything that makes it your own definitely helps. So.
Well, the questions are just coming in about the business, but I just want to share something else that's kind of off topic.
Because, yay! Squirrel! Totally okay, good. I like it.
Because we have someone named Sergio, and he's joining us from Siberia, which I thought was really cool.
Nice.
Watching you from Siberia.
Nice.
And he just wanted to say thank you for sharing and being such a great inspiration. I love natural light. But what would you do if it's so cold outside most of the year and not enough light? Would you use Phil Flash or just move to LA?
Come to LA. It is like the place of photographers. Well, if I was in that situation and it's so cold, I'm assuming it's so cold because it's gray out or it's snowing out. Awesome. What we shot for the first half hour, 40 minutes, was just window light. If you can get enough window light in a 10 by 10 square, I will give you 10 poses, if not more. That is what that's what I'm telling Sergio in Siberia. 100%.
Awesome.
Rock window light.
Snow does create a lot of light.
It does. It's beautiful. Craig, hi.
Well, since we're off subject, I just wanted to pass along an email I got. You're messing up the rest of our scheduling. Our watercolor instructor, Molly Murrah, is supposed to be working on her class for next week, but she says she's just been spending the entire week.
Good. Awesome.
So anyway, Molly, just to let you know.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Well, brand your watercoloring experience. I'll likely be tuning in.
Well, and that's the thing I just want to say. I've also seen comments saying, I'm not even a wedding photographer, or I'm not even a photographer, and I'm watching this course. So
That's great. That's great. But again, it is applicable across, not what I am saying. The idea of branding and identity is applicable in so many aspects of life. So go home, share it with your friends, talk about it. And I feel like I'm such a firm believer in saying things out. And I know, God, I'm going to sound like that crazy, like, lady on Venice Beach. But speaking things out into, like, the universe. Like, it makes you accountable. If not to the universe, to the people standing next to you. I want this. I will openly say, I have a jar that has, like, pennies and actually has a $5 Australian dollar bill. And it's what I'm saving for my future Laguna Beach home. I will say it. I'm going to say it out in the universe. The odds right now in my current situation of getting my cliff home in Laguna are about 1 in a million. But they're 1 in a million. So we're going to keep on saving, and we're going to keep on doing, and I'm going to put it out there because when it happens, I'm going to feel so dang good. And I'm going to say, back in 2010, you know, when we thought we were straight tripping, here we were, just these two crazy kids trying to do something on Creative Live, and then years later, it turns into a home in Laguna Beach. So
there you go.
Right on.
I have a question from Erica Monaco, who was actually one of our volunteers that came and helped set up.
Thank you, Erica Monaco.
She asks, have you ever been sick and or not able to shoot? And what did you do, or what would you recommend doing if all of a sudden on the day of the wedding?
Okay, so that's a two answer. Okay. I'm gonna give two answers.
Okay.
So one, I've never missed a shoot or a wedding because I was sick. I've actually shot through. I was gonna say quite specifically what I was sick with, but then I'm like, ew, TMI. Oh, it's going on the web. I was really, really, really sick on 2 occasions, and dude, you gotta show up. And I brought a third shooter. Okay. Cover my back, because I am not 100%. But I know with the third shooter, that client is then, I know, well taken care of. Secondly, I have a small network in Orange County of photographers who we all know. If you are not booked on that wedding and this person on that weekend, and this person calls, whatever you had planned, your day at Disneyland, beach date, it's out the window. You have to have that person's back. So it's nice to know that if I got sick, I know I can call Becker. I know that. I know that he has my back. And if he got sick and he were to call us, I would hands down do whatever it took for me to shoot that wedding for him too. And it's not just Becker, it's a couple other people that I feel that confident with. So it's good.
Great.
Quick question.
Yes.
As part of the Jasmine Star experience with your brides, if they do come and you do meet with them, do you have like a packet you give them, or like what do you?
That's good. That's a really good question. So what basically Nate is asking is if I have tangible items that I give my clients. And I know that some photographers do, and they're so beautiful, but I change my prices so much. And I don't want to have that out too much. So when a client contacts me, I have a PDF that I had a graphic designer design for me. And she gave me the Illustrator file. So every time I change my prices, I go into the Illustrator file, change it, compress it back down to the PDF. That is what I send the client. And when they open it, because again, but it fits my brand. I know that there's another photographer who shoots film. He has this just old school, beautiful appeal to him. And he sends freaking gorgeous packet. Like, I mean, as a paper whore, I love it. I would book him just on his paper alone. I love it. But it doesn't work for my brand, and it doesn't work for the type of client I'm going after. I'm going after the doctors. I'm going after the litigators. I'm going after the business people. I'm going after the personal shoppers who are busy. How can they open it up on their iPhone? How can they open it up on their PD? BlackBerry. Those are what those crazy things are called. Yeah. Yeah, whatever those things are called, those handheld devices. Yeah, so that works for my brand.
Cool.
But
I saw a Twitter question that was asking, at this point, what do you do for professional development?
I actually try to go to workshops or courses that are not photography related. Although I still am going to photography related, but I feel like that's not personal development. That's just helping me see the world differently. It's helping me develop more respect for our peers in the community. But going outside of that, any type of I went to this one day workshop. It's just setting goals. And it was I at sometimes felt like this is like a little ridiculous, but part of the registration was that we got a little notebook. And so I got the notebook, and the instructor forced us or asked us to write down our goals and to write down an idyllic work day and write down an idyllic relaxing day and write down a dream day and then compare all of those days and how different are they, how much overlay is there, because once there's an overlay you can say, oh, you can embrace it, this is part of my relaxation process or whatever. And as silly as it sounds, the whole day I walked away thinking, okay, it's just a recalibration. So yeah, doing things that are outside for that really does help.
I have a good question from Photo Traveler in chat. Do you ever have plans to write a book or an ebook on the business and creative sides of wedding photography?
I have been approached about it. And it's something that I was thinking about doing later this year, but it just depends so much on our schedule, you know. I'm a firm believer in picking one thing and doing it very, very well. And if I don't think that I could add on a book, and I don't know if it would ever be like a hardcover. You know, it probably most likely, my audience is online. What would make sense would be an online book. Really, I truly know that. I don't know. It just so many things factor into it, but I don't know. And it's funny though, because you guys know, like, do you have a business plan, or did you have a business plan? No. What kind of corporation are you? I'm like, oh, it's a work in progress. All these things that I should technically have done. I mean, if I'm going to be an authority in the field, don't you think I should be authoritative? And it's like, don't do what I do. I think I should get my act a little bit together before I write a book. But
Someone wise once told me, don't shit on yourself. Don't shit on
I love
yourself.
it. Maybe that's a new T-shirt.
I can see it. Should.
Right.
Should.
Right.
Can I offer a thought on that too? Don't point any cameras at me. I've worked with a lot of, so I'm just going to jump in because I'm a huge believer in this. You build your business around your strengths, not your weaknesses. And people that try to fix all their weaknesses before they start their business end up having a mediocre business.
Truth.
I mean, you know, you've reached the height of your business off your strengths, not because you were able to figure out how to solve one or two of the weaknesses.
Right, so if I ever wrote a book, it's clearly not on having a business plan. Or maybe writing a business plan in retrospective. I don't know, whatever.
Question that just came up about you and Trish Finfer. Do you give your time and or your talent to charitable causes or your community?
That's great. That is a totally good question. We try to keep what we do under the radar a little bit, just for personal reasons, but I'm really, really, really happy to say that JD and I shoot 10% of our weddings as gifts to people who couldn't afford our services. So I'm a firm believer, I like to give 10% of my income, just a basic principle, to charitable organizations or my church. But I feel that given in light of where we are right now with our lifestyle, it is a little hard, but it's also very easy. I pay a monthly, I just give a little bit here. I give 10% of my month's income, okay? It is what it is. But what is most valuable to me in my point right now in life is my time. So how can I effectively articulate sacrifice if it didn't really hurt? And time is very precious for us. So us giving 10% of our weddings, and I'm really proud to say that you can look back at my blogs and you won't know who we shot that wedding for, because we shoot it like we're shooting a $20,000 wedding. So that makes me like really, really, really proud. So.
Awesome. Thanks.
I have a question for JD from Demo in chat. Demo would like to know how you resist not taking photos of Jasmine all the time.
Jasmine, actually, that's part of the quota. She asked me to take a few photos of her every single wedding.
No, we have a contest. It's the game, though. Who can
Yes.
get the ugliest photo of the other person? Okay, that's the game.
I do take a lot of photos of Jasmine, but at the end of the year we have a slideshow
Great.
that she likes to put together. So I always get photos of her. Especially Jasmine's, well, I'm not going to sell you out, but sometimes Jasmine's like, I'm having a great hair day, so take lots of pictures.
You totally sold me out.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this belief, and oh my God, I mean, seriously, all the haters will roar right about now, but I kind of feel like if you are having a good hair day, it is going to be a good day. For real. Like, so ladies,
It's true.
it is. Thank you, Victoria.
Okay.
Thank
I was
you.
about to roll my eyes, but I'm not
Seriously. Seriously.
It just takes time, but someone in the chat room had asked if you have someone doing your hair to come here every day. Like, does Jasmine do her own hair?
Yeah, we actually flew in with a stylist for. No, I'm kidding. Everyone's just like jaw drop. Yeah, like diva. No, it's just a curling iron and some hairspray, Aquanet. No, it's just a curling iron.
Bringing it back down to some practical questions, probably more relevant to some starters, but what types of payment do you accept? Check, credit card, PayPal?
Oh my God, this is like embarrassing.
This is
just
from
go for it. Keep
John
it real.
Osegovich in St. Petersburg, Florida.
I only take check and cash.
Cash.
Is that crazy?
That's okay.
No.
Is that crazy? Because
That's
it's
great
just
to hear.
Where we are, a lot of clients will ask like for a credit card, and I think, where we are, like it just would make sense to do credit cards, but I need a merchant account, and then just giving that 2.5% kills me. It's like, ugh. So, we will transition to that, but right now it's just checking cash, old school.
I have a question from Snap Turtle in chat. If you could talk about storing photos, how do you store them, and how long do you keep wedding photos for people? I mean, do you
That's
keep
a great
them
question.
forever?
In the contract, it says that I am legally responsible for the digital files up a year after. But I have the photos.
You keep them.
I keep them, and I have 3 sources. So I have them on my computer. So I have I think a 4 terabyte Mac with a RAID system, so that has like a backup in the computer. I burn discs of the images, both the RAW and the JPEGs, and I have online storage. So.
So
God
you have-
forbid.
You have disk, you have online, and you have your computer.
Yes.
You don't use external hard drives? and save
Well,
those?
the RAID system is it's
Okay.
massive.
Okay.
So, and I always feel like, God forbid, we always. Am I morbid that I have a fire plan? I have a fire plan,
No.
and so I always think like, wouldn't it be worse like to grab your computer and then grab the 16 hard drives? It's like at least I know like I grab my big thing and run. So yeah, it works well for us. And the dog, and our wedding album. That's what I'm taking with me. And the cowboy boots. I'm wearing the cowboy boots.
See, from Flippin' Crazy, do you worry about print issues on your images when clients print them on their own and having your brand connected to
Of
them
course.
printing them out?
Of course. It is just part of what we do, though. I was just telling the crew at breakfast that I took pictures of my sister and her boyfriend, and she went to Save-On and got it printed, and literally the pictures are green. She looks like a leprechaun. And I looked at the picture, and I walked in, and I'm like, that's my photo. And she's like, I know, I love it. And they're like, where did you get this printed? She's like, Save On. I'm like, why are you getting it printed? She's like, it's fine. I'm like, but don't you see? And she's like, what? They don't see
They
it.
don't see
They
it.
totally don't. I mean, and again, most of our clients are viewing our images on an online gallery from an uncalibrated PC. It's just what it is, you know, and of course it kills me, but they see it for themselves. They really do. Sachin.
Do you give a disclaimer for that or something? Because I always think when I want someone to see my images, I always want to say, oh, please view this on a calibrate. Like, you know, I'm not going to do that, but do you say that, you know, your images
You
might
know
look
what?
different on different
If
screens?
you bought a brand new car and there was a note in the car that was written in Japanese and then translated into English that said, please only use this type of gas, don't put bumper stickers, don't use air fresheners, always vacuum the car, never allow food inside of it, don't let anyone under the age of 14 get it. Would you do that? Like, those designers of the cars will walk around and they will see dents and they will see bumper stickers and they will see little dice in the mirror, or if you're like Miss Thing over here who has a sombrero in the back of her Camaro, it probably kills the designer, you know? It's like, of course, people take ownership of what it is that's theirs, and they will do what they want with it. And I have that part of it to let go.
But I mean specifically for your client, though, when you give them, you know, the slideshow and the computer they're watching it, they're reviewing it on is, you know, 15 years old and their monitor, do you tell them, just specifically them, not, you know, everyone else around the world who might see your blog, but
No.
you don't say anything to them, no? Okay.
But if I did, it would set them up for not the best optimal viewing experience. Because if I had sent them the link and I said, but wait, only view it on X, Y, and Z, then it would put them as in, it might take me a day to find X, Y, and Z. So then my only option is to, one, extrapolate them from the excitement of their slideshow, or if they opt to circumvent that, they'll watch a slideshow and then think, it's probably not as good as it could be. No, thank you. Either of those situations I'm really not really wanting. So, let it go.
And I think also it stays true to Jasmine's philosophy on it's not the photographs that they're getting, it's the experience that they
Experience, yeah,
get when they're watching the slideshow, not the photographs.
I have a question from Alex in the chat room. How do you deal with remote clients that you might not be able to meet before the wedding day, or if you can't ever meet them at all?
I book about half my clients without meeting them, which is what I want. I am a destination photographer as much as what I do, and a lot of times clients trust me. Girls will start reading my blog perhaps after being a bridesmaid or a guest at a wedding, and so it's kind of voyeuristic because they don't want to let me know that they're reading my blog because they're like, oh, but that's so private. But no, I put it out in a public forum. But to them, they're like, oh, we're reading about your vacation, or we're reading about your dog, and we're reading about your family. And then by the time it comes for them to book, they've literally been having a 365-day conversation with me. They trust me. They feel like they know me. They feel like they've had a 5-minute conversation on the phone with just me. So they think already in their mind that they've convinced themselves that we are a good fit. Great. If you are so staunchly confirmed that we are a good fit, maybe I'll have a phone conversation. Maybe I'll set up Skype. I love Skype. I'll even hold up my albums on Skype and flip through the pages, kind of show you how big it is in relation to my hands, how heavy it is. I mean, whatever we can do, but a lot of times, because you can brand yourself so well online, it really does help and change the experience. So,
But what about you knowing them in that situation? far
well, I think that as like human beings, if we know, like, we're in tune. You can talk to a person on the phone, and if if this person is terse with me, and if it's like, yeah, okay, so your prices, yeah, it's like, maybe we're not that good of a fit, but if it's somebody who just wants to have a conversation, I know within the first 5 minutes. And most of the time, I've never had a client who's called me because I put so much of myself out there, because I probably, from reading, if you've never heard me talk before, you probably know that I'm kind of blah, kind of, maybe. I have videos of myself out there as well. It just meshes quite well. Like when we first meet, you put so much out there, and then the rest just kind of falls into place. You know.
Sarah Rosetta from Rockhampton, Australia, had asked a few minutes ago, who do you store online with? Who do you store your images with? As part of that backup process?
I'm in transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just got eerily quiet, and it wasn't supposed to.
Sorry.
I was like, it wasn't like, yeah, I know. I was like, no, yeah, no.
I saw this happen at a wedding. So a friend of mine, Trevor Dean Photo, is asking, what would you do if a flashcard, well, you use many, so corrupted and you lost half of your images?
Well, I would never lose half. I
Right.
probably wouldn't even use a tenth.
Right.
I don't even know if I would lose a 20th. Maybe I would lose a 20th. But of the 20th that I lost, how many of those would actually be keepers?
Right.
You know? So that's why I prefer, and I know people think I'm crazy for shooting on 4 gig. I totally know. But it's just, I now have the ebb and flow. I know how long I could shoot. Oh, gotta look here, gotta look here. It's training me to look at my camera, training me to look at my camera. Before the ceremony starts, I take out my gig card. I don't care how many pictures I have left, because I know I have 123 images on a 4 gig card. I will pop that in. It will get me all the way through everybody walking. It'll get me through the giveaway. It'll get me through the aisle shooting. Take a step back, swap my card out so it's nice and ready to get emotional pictures back and forth, any type of religious ritual like communion or doves flying away. Come back, get the first kiss and the recessional, the immediate after kissing, swap my card out again. There's a rhythm, so yes.
That's helpful.
Well, Trevor in chat would like to ask, what would you do if your flash card corrupted and you lost over half your images during a shoot? He goes on to say it happened to him during a family christening shoot today.
Oh, poor guy.
I mean, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had a card
I did have a
corrupted?
card. I did have a card corrupt. I did, but thank God it was a 2 gig, if you can believe it. We were at the end of the day and we were shooting the groom and his groomsmen. So what we lost, which totally sucked, was him and his groomsmen. And not to diminish the fact that we had lost them, but I explained to the client, and it's kind of like having a roll of film rip or just having dust on the film or whatever it was. And I just explained that I'm so sorry. Something happened to the card. I sent it to get the images retrieved. It wasn't possible. And I set it up like that, and I said the images that we lost were of X and his groomsmen. And of course, it was a little bit like, oh, I'm so, but then she was so sweet, and she was like, are you okay? I know you were stressing about this, and I totally was. I mean, it ate at me for like days. But what can I do? I'm thankful that it was a 2 gig. I have her and all her girls, which at the end of the day, I'm really happy it was her. Like that card that we lost was the guy and the guys. I mean, the groom and the guys. But it just happens.
Kind of leads me to another question, which I saw earlier, and I'm not sure who asked it, but have you ever had anyone ask for a refund or been dissatisfied and asked for a partial refund? Okay, good job.
But I think that that's something we control far before the images come back. I think that people can become dissatisfied with their images even before seeing them. Like if you have an attitude and you're mean to Uncle Joe because he's in his walker taking a long time up there, people are just like, ew, what a prick. You know? They will think that that photo sucks because you're a total jerk. So you can control a lot of the sentiments that are associated with photographs positively and negatively. So, but no, I'm very thankful.
Nadine Bertzler in the UK is asking, what's your dream photography assignment and why? Outside of, she doesn't say outside of weddings, but I don't know if there's something,
Dream photography.
or
assignment.
have you achieved it?
I don't know. Okay, this sounds so
Maybe
cliche.
location?
No, it just sounds
or-
cliche. It sounds cliche. You know, I think that whenever we have the opportunity to shoot a client in a new location, then it becomes a dream, a dream assignment for me. Like JD and I are shooting next May in Philadelphia. Okay, but it's a dream assignment for me because her family, many generations ago, owned a sewing factory in like the early 1900s, and it's been in her family, and it's just a piece of property that sat there. And she walked in, and it literally had old sewing machines from early 1900s in there, and old burlap pieces. And she decided to have it professionally cleaned out and repainted, and the floors refurbished. And I am so excited. And who would have thought that a dream location for me is going to be in a suburb of Philadelphia? You know, I mean, I'm just excited to do something different. I was so excited to find out that we were shooting at Theo. I want to shoot outside of the resorts that we shoot in. So, you know.
Philly is totally underappreciated. I lived there.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, what I just did is I connected right here. I didn't repel.
I love
So
Philly.
it's good.
You have to have you some cheesesteaks.
Well, we shot in Philly before at another wedding.
Okay.
We went, and there was, what was it, Max's or
Pat's,
Pat's?
Geno's.
Yes, yes.
Jasmine, do you have different pricing for destination weddings?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because when we shoot in Southern California, anywhere between San Diego and Santa Barbara, that's a drive for us. And if we opt to get a hotel room, I'm not going to necessarily charge my clients. How I figure is if I get home before midnight, the client doesn't pick up the charge. If the client wants me to stay till midnight, I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to take a 2-hour from Santa Barbara drive home. So I will then tell the client that she then has to pay me a small travel fee plus the hotel for the night. Now, if I shoot, now there's different pricing according to where I'm shooting within the continental United States. If I'm shooting in Arizona, Phoenix, let's say, that's an 1.5-hour flight. I can leave midday on Friday, get there on Friday night. There's zero time acclimation. I can wake up the next morning as if I was shooting, and then I leave early Sunday morning. Now, if I was shooting on the East Coast, I have to take a Thursday night red eye. I have to get there early Friday morning. I have to decompress. I have to go to the venue, figure things out. It's a different climate. It's a different region. Might have to get a rental car. And then on Sunday, I can leave on the first flight out, but then I'm really not even getting home till halfway through on Sunday. That's 4 days of work from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The clients are paying quite a bit more for that. It's our time. It's time that I'm away from my studio, from my dog, from my family, and time that has to be attributed. I could be shooting something else and making money during that day. You have to be compensated for that. And I like where I live. We live. I like shooting weddings there.
So are you figuring out those numbers depending on what the location is? Or
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
How long is it going to take for me to get there? We can shoot a wedding in the Bay Area, and we can be there in a 1-hour flight.
Right.
I can get to the Bay Area sooner than I can get to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
So, but still, I'm going to have to get a rental car, and all these things come into it. So,
Okay. Good to know.
yes.
I have a question from Stills by Hill in the chat room. I feel like my wedding style has changed and want to revamp my whole portfolio, but I have a lot of weddings under my belt. How do I get some new wedding business to change my profile?
Well, my first thing without having to do anything is revisit your old photographs. It's so refreshing to go back with a new set of lenses. Like, I can go back to a wedding that I shot a year ago, and I could find photos that I probably would have overlooked that my style has evolved in, my post-processing has evolved in. I know what I could do, and I know how I can massage that photo to make it more reflective of who I am present day. So before getting new weddings, it's revisit your old portfolio with a new set of lenses, process all the photos again so that they look fresh, and then update your portfolio and see what just transpires from that. If you're not moving in such a way, I would say set up a shoot. Grab, a good friend in her wedding dress and her fiance, groom, get models, whatever, and challenge yourself. Set up a theme to the shoot. What are your 3 branded words? If you just shoot to get pretty pictures, you will just get pretty pictures, and they will not move your brand anywhere. Figure out your trajectory, your bullseye, set your goal, accomplish just that, and then leverage that as the main piece of your portfolio.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
What time is it?
It is 4:01.
4:01. Cool. Great.
Great. Let's see. You have answered a lot of these questions already.
I
so
know,
we're just,
I
I don't know
know.
if you want to look and see if there are any.
Yeah,
Should
it's
husband
hard
and
when
wife
it's 5
teams
days.
own their own company jointly, equally, even if one is a primary shooter and the other often second? That's a really good, that's a good question. I think it's a question that it has to be individually answered for each couple. I have seen couple relationships like husband and wife team that doesn't really work because it's 2 first shooters. 2 people are vying for that first shooter position. And it's a not good situation to show your clients your clients need to know who's in control. And if you guys have a nice rhythm and flow to volley that between, having a conversation prior to the wedding. Who is in control during this part of the day? Who is in control on this part of the day? Having a secret code between you two, a sniff, a nose rub, something to say, I want control because I see something different, is far better than being, I think we should go here. No, I think we should go there. What about if she does this? No, can you look this way? No, both of you look this way. That's so much, mental stimulation for our client. So definitely have a conversation in advance. If you highly suspect that you both want to be first shooters and you want to start an associateship with the spouse, then You could brand it separately. You can brand it as an associateship, however you see fit. But that conversation needs to happen much sooner than later.
Jasmine?
Yes.
I remember asking before, it was about processing and when to outsource it. Just wondering if you'd covered that. So, for example, with my business, say if I shoot a wedding and it is something that I want to outsource, should that price, how can I kind of put that into my pricing structure and...
Well, do your research in advance. So I would I know Victoria has sent a couple samples to different companies to figure out who works better for her. And a lot of companies offer free sampling or really, really, really discounted sampling. Put it out there. Get your best, strongest, favorite, weakest, hardest photos, put them in a sample, and send them to a different company. Once you find a company that kind of will do what you want them to do, well, then you will find out your pricing structure. So you can get a base. So roughly for like a 2,000 image edit, just for the edit, no uploading, no image renaming, just the edit itself from Photographer's Edit is around $275. If you wanted to outsource that, charging it into the collection at the base, at minimum $275, it's awesome. It covers your bum. You get 8 hours of at minimum of your life back. Padding that into the collection is totally fine. I didn't necessarily think about padding when I first started. I just thought, I'm so overwhelmed, I have too much to learn. I don't care how much it costs, I'm just gonna pay. And there's so many different ways. Clearly, I'm talking about one company. There are multiple companies, and when I first started, there was a girl who was a photographer based in Chattanooga, and her younger sister was in high school, and she had taught her younger sister, who was 18, how to process the images. And her sister said, okay, I'll charge you 12 cents an image. And at the time, I was paying 25 cents an image. And so it was literally, she was charging me half. And that worked really well for my business. So thinking outside the box, putting it out there, talking to people. There are husband and wife teams who supplement their income by processing other people's images. Put it out on forums. Get your style out there. What works for me doesn't necessarily have to work for everybody else. But if you find a company that you like, and part of the reason why I stopped working with the 18-year-old is because I couldn't depend on her. Prom happened. The boy broke her heart. I mean, I just felt so bad, but I was like, my clients need their images. Get over it. You weren't going to marry the guy. No, I'm just kidding. But it was. I know that sounds so rude. No, but I finally got to a point where I needed strictly professional people that I can count on distinctly. And like I mentioned to Victoria off air yesterday, if I wasn't happy with Photographer's Edit, I emailed Nathan at photographersedit.com, and I said, this is what happened at this wedding, and I need to fix it. I need to address it for a future edit. And there have been times where an edit wasn't right, and it wasn't a matter of taste. It was just a matter of an edit. He pulled it down, and he did the edit. He assigned the edit to somebody else to do it correctly and redid it for me. So you can't complain about a company unless you've actually called them out on it and they're not willing to change. So that's a life principle, I think. So just to drum up a little goodness, Craigo, can we give away a couple things? Or did we already? Oh, I think we already did. Did we do the big giveaway?
No.
No. Okay, so
giveaway.
we have maybe 30 minutes left of quick Q&A, but before I don't want to do it at the end. Can we give away a couple things right now? I like how I just throw things his way.
JD, I had a light question for you.
Okay.
King Photog, who's in charge of paying the household bills and grocery shopping?
Gosh, I'm in charge of both of those. Yeah, I do those too. Those are part of my. Actually, you know what? I find this is weird. I know I'm kind of atypical, but grocery shopping to me is therapeutic.
I love it. I'm with
I love
you.
getting lost in aisles, and
no.
I usually come back with the randomest cheeses and the randomest
Yes.
mustards and the randomest just ingredients.
Salamis. I think we have 47 types of salami.
Yeah. I mean, my dinner when Jasmine's, if she ever has to go work late or something, my dinner consists of cheese and salami. That is that is it.
Olives?
Olives sometimes I include, yes, but that's
well with
I
it.
can survive on that, and chocolate, and some wine, a little bit of wine.
For your heart.
Yeah.
For your heart.
I have another light question
Yeah.
while we're, let's see, bunny trails. Did you ever address where you put your extra gear during a wedding, and has anything ever been stolen?
That's great.
Or where do you
thank
recommend?
God. I'm very thankful. Thank God. That was a great question. I'm very, very, very thankful. I haven't had anything stolen, but it happens a lot often than people would like to really acknowledge. Especially, maybe just in Southern California. I mean, there's so much traffic. A lot of venues have multiple weddings all at one time. So whenever we get to the venue, JD carries the backpack like you guys saw us carrying. He has his chute sack. I have my chute sack. He carries the backpack with him all throughout the day. Then we get to the ceremony, and there is either a band or there's either a DJ. JD will then put the bag and the gear by whoever is manning the sound booth because they never leave the sound booth. And we are always
talking to them before we do the dump. Also, always introducing ourselves, and it's a good thing to start that relationship with either the DJ or any other vendors, because it's funny. By the end of the night, we're all like this. We're all watching each other's backs.
Yeah.
When the food comes out, we go out to the DJ and say, hey, or they come to us and say, hey, the food's ready. It's time to go eat. Or so we always have each other's backs. So that's why it feels a little bit more comfortable when we drop off our bags.
Right.
They allow us to put it under their table so that it's hidden away, things like that.
Or sometimes if we feel like the vendors, if we got to a point earlier where we don't necessarily need access to the main bag, what a really good place is, they already have the cake table set up and the cake is on it. It's usually draped. Stick your bag underneath the cake table. No one's really checking under the cake table.
Be very careful.
Yeah.
Don't bump that table. That's always my biggest worry when we go under the cake. I always worry about.
Yeah, the DJ or the band is always preferable, but
Yes.
when nobody's in the room, nobody's really checking under the cake table.
Right.
But we never leave it exposed.
Yes.
Do you ever offer one-on-one consultations with other photographers?
People ask that. Not yet.
Not yet.
No. It's time intensive. I am a huge proponent of I don't have secrets, so it's like I want to share as much as I can, and the best way I do that is online, clearly through something like this, and one-on-one takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think, Jasmine, we've also incorporated the workshops. I know it's not one-on-one, but it's the closest we get to an intimate group, which is 20 students. It's kind of the closest we'll get to a one-on-one.
All right, I think Craig's ready.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm ready.
Victoria, can I borrow your pen?
Sure.
Here you go, Jay.
Okay. So I just went ahead and preloaded these.
Good. So the winner, I'm not going to look, for a 35.
Oh, hold on. I thought I put my file here. You know what?
You didn't?
Hold
Way
that.
back.
All
Okay,
right.
just kidding.
Can you come to Canada to do workshops?
I was in
Montreal?
Canada. I was in Vancouver.
It's like
Just a
on the
couple months ago.
west coast. We're on the east coast.
Oh, that East Coast trek is a good trek.
We'd be worth it.
If you were there, it'd always be worth it. Don't worry.
We have had a number of people calling out where they're from and asking if you are coming to do workshops there. So the
Come to Europe.
southeast.
Woo!
We had,
Hey,
Yep. We've had that. Let's see.
I mean, we love to travel. We
Yep,
totally
we do
do,
love to
and I love meeting and connecting with other photographers. I absolutely love it. But at the same time, I'll be very honest, we're running a business. How much time are we spending away from the business for, as cool as it is, to drink a Canadian beer with Canadian friends? How is it moving my business where I need it to go? And what we've noticed is that during the off season is when we have the opportunity to do a little bit more of that. So during the wedding season, it's far and few in between. I've been so lucky to join the WPBI Roadshow. I will be speaking in Seattle tomorrow. I will be speaking in Chicago, and I will be speaking in Washington, D.C. So those types of opportunities are awesome because I get to meet people, and, the tab is picked up by WPBI. So it's nice. I mean, I'll do that. I'll do that more often. So yeah. Yes.
So some of the other photographers that have assisted have assistants for their processing or
Right.
various other things. Is there
Right.
a right time when you should be getting an assistant, and do you have an assistant at all
That's
for
a
anything?
really, really good question. So, again, I like to run a lean company. But if I was going to be running it at its leanest point, it would make more sense for me to bring in an assistant and pay the assistant $12 an hour. Because I would probably pay an assistant less to process a wedding than I do to outsource it. I would probably have even more control over it. But the problem is, as you guys know from behind the scenes, I'm a no-nonsense kind of girl. I don't care that your car broke down. I don't care that the babysitter didn't show up. I don't care that you have PMS today. I don't need that in my life. I wanted to just turn the files over, have it professionally done. Photographer's Edit says we will get it to you in 7 business days. And most often they have it online in 5 or 6 business days. Like, thank you. Thank you very much. It's done. My album design. I sent an album from a wedding that I shot. Oh, this bride is so sweet. Oh, I adore her. Got her images, processed them before I came to Seattle. Took a few of them to process on my laptop while I was here. Did this last night because I'm a total cool girl working in my hotel room. I upload them to my album designer. She will have a design to me no later than Monday. That's my client in less than a week will have a complete album design. And that's even delayed because I was here. But what did I tell my client? I said, you will see your album design in 2 weeks. Was it? Under promise and over deliver. 100%. Because what happens is if she contacted me on Monday right before I came, and then I give it to her on Monday, I'm a week early. She thinks it's great. Craig, are we ready?
Well, let's try it again.
Okay. Great, so this is for the 11 by 14 Leather Craftsman album 3500 series, 20 pages, 40 sides, print and bind, the whole kit and caboodle. Dun, 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 dun.
So button first,
Yay.
slide.
Christy Cropper! Okay, she was one of the girls who made. Okay, I know these people. I care about you, Alex. Internet, I freaking love you. Christy made that really funny video of her having a cake fight. She was like the one that was up in everybody's business. She was like from Vegas. She was really, really, really close. It was just like, how close do you get
put it on
on
your
the
blog
ceremony?
afterwards, yeah.
Yes. So there she. I am so happy for her. She didn't get a con, but she gets a pimp album. There you go, Christy. Okay, crop photo. Good for you. I'm so happy for her.
So I've been watching all weekend. Oh, freaking awesome.
Yay!
Dare we?
Oh, yeah.
You trust her?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes. I was a little angry there, Christy. Oh, cute. She is so sweet. Such a sweet girl.
All right.
And she's from Las Vegas. Las Vegas represent. So this one is for the Granddaddy, Grand Supreme, 5 years show it subscription. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yay. And this winner can be from around the world.
Ooh.
So here we go.
So drum roll.
All right.
Jen.
Leslie 3.
Jen Leslie.
Jen.
Great. Oh, thank you, Jen.
All right.
Woo.
Congratulations, that is
That's
huge.
huge.
Yep.
Amazing.
We don't know where Jen's coming
Congrats.
We don't. But she did it on Echo phone, so it's probably she was typing it on her iPhone.
from. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for helping make this
Yeah,
such a big deal.
it is a big deal.
Hey, but as long as I'm out here, could you throw up the countdown? How much longer do we have to get the $99 offer? As long as we're kind of doing the little sideways thing.
About 3 hours and 45 minutes or so.
3 hours and 45 minutes to take advantage of the $99 deal.
That's great. One thing too that I noticed a lot on Twitter was I had mentioned a discount code that was applicable to anyone using Photographer's Edit, and people started using a different code.
Have we given away the photographer's edit?
I don't know if we did. That's why I don't know if we.
I don't know if it was
I
photography.
don't remember giving because I think we avoided giving it away because it was a big deal.
Oh, because we were going to talk about post-processing,
Yeah,
and we said
you
the
did
day
show
after the
it.
wedding.
Yeah.
We have another one.
So once we confirm, but I'm pretty sure you and I would have remembered giving it away.
Right.
All right. So there's still, and what is that? That's like
It's a
4,000
complete-
images, 1,500 images.
Yes, up to 2,000 images, and up to 2,000 images. If you sent them raw, they would do they would process it, do the conversions to JPEG, and then they would send it back to you, and that's a $270 value. That's what they're giving away for free. So Photographer's Edit.
I'm just laughing because I've got one more job to do. So.
Oh, you
no,
do?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that winner will be coming up.
I think at the end of the show.
Great, at the end of the show, we'll get that winner.
We'll give away that one.
Okay,
so
but if
one
you're
last
not a
chance.
winner and you want to try it out, if you use the code JSTAR2010,
I love that you're writing it on the sheet of paper.
I am because I'm dyslexic. I'll probably be like everything backwards. JSTAR2010, you get 20% off your first order. And again, if you're not happy with them, you have one of two things. You can tell them what they could do to get better, or you can find a different company that will suit your needs. It's not for everybody. I totally get it, but helping you live a life is always a good thing. Also, for those who had asked, it's now the later part of the 24-hour code for the show at Slideshows. You guys saw the slideshow that I did today. That slideshow is going online. That is what will be tagged for my clients on Facebook and in my blog, and that code is STAR24, all caps, STAR24. That's a $70 discount for the slideshow. And I think, Miss Thing, did you get it?
I got it today.
Yay! Good. I'm really excited.
How long was left on that as well? Because that was like a 24.
That was 24 hours, so it's probably just a few hours left.
Yeah.
So get snapping on that.
By 5 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, get on that. And then what other codes did we get? I think we got discount codes. I'll be probably doing a follow-up on my blog because I'm pretty sure Kubota gave a discount code too, but I don't want to overexplain.
I think I remember seeing that. but
Right?
I think I remember that.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah, but I'm not sure either.
But either way, I mean, these are, and Leather Craftsman. I have Leather Craftsman discount codes on my blog. Again, I'm just going to do a recap because these are just long-standing blogs. I mean, these are long-standing discounts. These companies have been great. I've worked with them from the beginning. I pay these companies, and what has happened is the community that has been built around the idea of sharing. Not the community that has built around us. It's this all right here. And they know that we collectively have a megaphone, and they said, hey, if you want to talk about us, here's a discount code. And that's great. Anything that we could pass along to share with people has been wonderful. These companies are great.
I just want to pass on a comment. Ali Sunlia Grip in Kansas City says, I feel like I've already won something. Thanks for this free course.
Oh, rad. Okay,
So,
cool.
everybody wins.
Everybody's, but wait, there's more.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you talk about your calendar year? Because, most wedding photographers, their summers are busy. And you said you take December off.
Yes.
So what does your
I kind of feel like
year?
it's feast or famine a little bit, at least in California, because it's so predictable. It's, in April to late October, early November, it's go, go, go. And then after that, it becomes really quiet. When I do get a wedding in those months, I'm really stoked. This year we're shooting twice in November, but I'm usually shooting once in November. I really don't take December weddings. They're not popular in Southern California. We will occasionally get inquiries for New Year weddings, and I won't take it unless it's putting us at a different spot in the world. We shot a wedding over New Year in Costa Rica, and I was totally fine with that. But we get inquiries all the time, and I'm like, no, my time with him anywhere in the world is going to be better than, it's what I prefer, personally, what we want to do. And in January, I don't have a wedding. In February I have one. In March I have two. So it's much slower.
Right.
Much slower.
Kind of leads me to the next question I have from Liz in Argentina. If you've shot a wedding in a culture you weren't familiar with, and if so, how did you handle the cultural difference?
Dude, Google has been my best friend. I shot an Indian wedding and I wasn't familiar with it, and I needed to know what was important. There's so much information. And even I'm somewhat familiar with Jewish culture, and I wanted to understand why the ring went on the index finger and the huppah and signing of the ketubah. I needed to know all those things. I needed to know what to expect, when to expect it. And there are just a ton of sites who will itemize what happens during the ceremony and what. So I will never forget the first time we shot an Indian ceremony. It was really important for us to capture. Somebody has to steal the groom's shoe, and then the groom has to pay that person to get the shoe back. And I needed to know those things. I needed to know why they were throwing rice, and I needed to know why the veil was up because the groom wasn't supposed to see the bride. All of those things, we prepared by using Google. Yeah. So a little hard work. Yes.
A few days ago, you mentioned when you didn't have many weddings in a row, you need to maybe shoot another wedding to stay,
That's just
practicing.
me, crazy.
But So what do you do in the winter when you're slower to just?
Oh, go to workshops.
Yeah.
And then
Do
every
you,
so
do you
while-
shoot other things though in the winter or?
Okay, so it depends I think it depends what mood I'm in. So again, I brought up Roger Federer, right? We don't think that when he goes to the French Open, he's picking up his racket that morning.
Yeah.
We know that he's leading up to that. But do I think that he takes time just to step away, to let his muscles relax, go back and eat bad food for a little bit, just soak in life? And when I make a conscious effort not to really shoot, when I turn off and just like, I'm gonna soak in. My favorite, I love, when I'm feeling burnt out, we are members of Netflix, and so Amelie, like I turn on Amelie, and like the world is just pretty again. It's just different. That's what we do. Just get old movies, go to museums. Yeah. So, but I've made a conscious effort not to touch.
Simply Boudoir would like to know, what, if any, software do you use to keep up with clients' invoicing, workflow, et cetera, on the back end?
You know, I have kind of created a system that works for myself.
Okay.
It's kind of hodgepodge, but if you needed something that's streamlined, that's really good. I hear wonderful things about ShootQ, shootq.com.
Okay.
I hear people saying wonderful things about it. It's very streamlined and it's extraordinarily organized. So that is appealing for a lot of people. Automatically invoices, it sends reminders to your clients when they're supposed to send their payments, all that. It does all that for you. So if that's what you need, that's great. I happen to be anally organized. I do everything myself, but
No.
yeah, I know.
Jasmine,
Yes.
can I ask a quick question? I was just thinking to myself, like, after this, what am I going to do? And I have like key things in my head
Go
that
ahead.
I want to achieve and do for my business and stuff. But I've still got a lot of notes to go through, and I want to review things and really think about it. But so, if you were in my position, what would you do with regards to, taking the next step, really?
For you?
No, for any student who's really watching. Like, would you go over the notes, and also what would you be thinking about, or setting targets, or?
Oh, okay. It depends what kind of learner you are. I am the most annoying learner. I'm not smart. I'm really, really, really not. No.
Yeah, that's why you got a full ride to UCLA. 'Cause you're-
I will tell you that I didn't learn how to read until I was almost 11, but my mom was a total hippie, and she believed that when you're ready to learn, your brain is ready to learn, honest to God. And for some reason, she was right, because when I learned to read, I became a voracious reader, and I couldn't get enough books. So maybe my mom does know a thing or two. I work very, very, very darn hard. I probably have to work 3 times as hard to get the A than the smart kid, but at the end of the day, we're still getting the A. How I learn, even when I went to photography workshops early on, still to this day, but even after I would leave like my European economics class, I felt like I had got so much information, I had written everything down, and then I would go back and I would rewrite my notes. And I would rewrite them with color coding and highlighting. I would just organize it so that when I would go back and I had complete sentences, I could cite it as where I needed to focus, certain things the professor had said at any given point in time. And so I could cite those notes 2 years later and completely understand what's going on. What I see now is like scribbling here and there. Go back, fully articulate your thoughts again, write down 6 months goals and write down 12 months goals, 12-month goals. And then when you're at the 12-month mark, do it again. But you have to know where you want to be in 6 months, because that's going to be a halfway point and be like, am I getting it together? And if I'm not, I have 6 months left to really take action.
Thanks.
I have a question from Mixed Media Salad. Do you have any other creative interests, and do they have any influence on your photography business besides fashion?
Well, just because I like fashion doesn't mean that I'm necessarily good at it. I mean, I also like.
Well, it's a creative interest.
Right. I love reading and I love writing. I think it's just what I do. I think I think even today, like as I was blogging this morning's post, JD was reading over my shoulder, and I just said that I loved and I appreciated like my best friend and my business partner and my husband. And he's like, "Oh, it's so nice that I could read that." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm better at words. I effectively communicate my thoughts more clear than I do in person. So that's just what I do. When I'm angry, I could write a mean letter. But there's things I write on my blog that won't go live, that they'll just sit masked. because you just get into like a mood, and then once it's out, you're just like, okay, I'm over it. So.
We have people that are saying they're sad. They're gonna miss you. They aren't gonna know what to do tomorrow.
Oh,
Day 6.
I'm like, the giveaways are over.
Photography IT said that.
Aww.
Let's see.
It's really cool. I mean, here's what I think has been the coolest thing about Creative Live is that it has allowed me to take on a newscaster role, because this crazy thing, I read this article about newscasters. So they're not celebrities in any way, shape, or form. But what happens is if you run into a newscaster, your local newscaster, if you live in Los Angeles or in Middletown, America, you see your newscaster and you're like, oh, you're around my dinner table. I watched you just before Jeopardy. Like, they're not a celebrity. They're this weird pseudo friend that you somehow like just as a disseminator of information. That's it, right? And so this is what I think happened. We had like that, oh my God, Jasmine's in my dining room experience. And it's created this crazy, crazy community. And it's been awesome. I loved it. I loved it. It's been really, really, really cool. Very, very, very cool. What would I do if a second client, this is from Guru Design C. What would I do if a second shooter started taking clients from me? I don't know the depth of that conversation, but if they're taking clients from you, then you're not doing your job. Sorry. I know that's rude. Is that the right answer? You can do it nicer.
No, maybe you're not doing your job only because you should explain to your second shooter that, you know, certain things before the wedding day. Not that he's taking your job because you're not a good photographer.
Right.
Has nothing to do with your photography skills. If your second shooter is taking your clients, it's because you should have. I think it's a good idea to sit down with your second shooter, let them know, you know, what you expect and what is common courtesy, etiquette. Second shooter etiquette is not always known. Second shooters don't know what the etiquette is if it's their first time ever doing it. It's a simple mistake to pass your own business card at a wedding if you don't know what the etiquette is. So yeah, just there's second shooter etiquette that I think that, you know, it takes time, and I think the first shooter's responsibility is to let that second shooter know what the etiquette is.
I'm assuming that, you know, because JD is your second shooter, you guys probably don't have a contract, but assuming you have a contract with JD? Oh yeah, you rock.
I'm just kidding.
But, you know, if you were to hire a third shooter, like, because, you know, you're at your sister's wedding, you said you're going to have a third shooter. So would you have a contract with that person to really spell out what the expectations are?
I always think it's a good idea. In this particular situation, I've had enough conversation and just an implicit trust with this.
And emails. Emails is kind of a binding contract, kind of, sort of.
He should just take over. I really do think you should just take over, because I am just like, my brain is like, you're answering things much better than I am. But yes, so we have emails about what our arrangement is. We have emails, and beyond all that, I really do trust this person, and that helps. If you're in a pinch and you've never worked with a second shooter and you haven't had time to go over things, send an email and say, can you please respond and acknowledge that you have everything. So now you know everything's out in the open, what is right and what is proper. I think maybe we'll take like, Sachin, what time is it?
4:30.
4:30. Like maybe, I don't know, we went late a couple days ago. And I don't know, like should we, I don't know.
I'd say one more question and then we start doing thank yous.
Great. I love it.
And I saw a question on the screen actually that would be relevant to me. When you go to foreign countries, do you need to request a visa when you go work? Costa Rica, whatnot?
That's a really good question, and I'm very happy to end it like that because I would love to shoot more international weddings. The onus on taking care of the paperwork is on my client. I have too much going on, and I need to know. I will always, of course, follow up with the bride and make sure that we're doing it together, but at the end, she is responsible to let me know everything I need in advance. If there are shots to be taken, things I need to do, she must do everything. She must get the visas. I will then turn the visas to her. She will then take it, because in that mixed mode of communication, if it relies on me and it does not get done, I'm legally bound and responsible for it. I want to make sure that we are on the same page 100% of the time. So yes. But yes. So Craigo.
Jasmine, do you want to talk at all about how you organize your files and folders? Is that something? I don't know. It seems kind of like people
Less
keep
exciting
asking.
than traditional weddings.
People just keep asking that
The
question.
wrong
How
time
about
for that.
Erin Paris Hawaii wants to know, what is your advice for writing a successful blog?
KIR. Keep it real. A couple tips real quick. Continuity. If you are blogging once every 3 or 4 weeks, you're not a blogger. You are an occasional, I don't know what that word is. You just have an online diary that you occasionally use. Continuity, even if it's just once a week. Something for people to know that you're out there, you're working, you're still alive. Keep it personal. It doesn't have to be uber personal. But the fact that some people like Reese's Pieces, that's fine. Put it out there in the web. You're not going to offend anybody for liking one particular topic over the other. It's totally fine. And also, don't shy away from the person you are. There's nothing worse than seeing a person who is trying to be somebody that they're not. So, very simple, very basic. Talk about your clients. People like being spoken about favorably.
Well, the interwebs are sending in their thank yous and all of their comments. And I thought we'd read a few.
Yeah, let's
Susie
do
Bell photo is, retweeting Bunny Trails. Bunny Trails.
I
has been
know.
with us
Yeah.
this whole time. So
Bunny
thank you,
Trails
Bunny
has
Trails.
been here the whole
That's a
time.
mystic photographer.
But she's saying we're all part of the big J-Star crazy community now. Sweet.
And Piranha, who's been really active in the chat room, says you're the most professional person that they've ever seen, and you're amazing. And just want to tell you, thank you so much, and that this will be worth way more than the $149 they'll be paying for it.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully we get it before 8
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
Open 9 to 9. I'm much more valuable before 8.
But we have people joining us from Belgrade, from New Zealand, from Germany,
Romania.
Finland, Scotland.
That's awesome. That is
Texas.
great. And the
Let's do it.
idea that the branding principles applies internationally is so very true. I'm not saying that it only works in one type of area. It is who you are. 100%.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much.
You have an invite to Puerto Rico.
Oh, I'm Puerto Rican. Boricua. Okay, I was Puerto Rico. Okay.
All right. And we would like to do some, if we could just have you kind of roll over. Celeste and I are going to, no, you stay here. You stay here.
Oh,
We're going to go through our own thank yous with the whole crew
Great.
behind the scenes that have been helping. And so I need to have Celeste in here to help me. She's one of the people who's been helping to wrangle all this. So actually, no, just roll the chair over that way.
oh, where? This way? Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what the
No,
heck.
no, no.
Sorry.
All right. So this has just been incredible. This has been. Oh, we have something to give away. I forgot. We have to give away the photographer's out of it.
Yes.
All right, we'll do that really quick.
Yeah, do that before goodbyes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So.
Now it's awkward.
No, it's not. Celeste has been my point person, the person that Craig has
Yeah.
said, please CC Celeste,
Absolutely.
because my brain is everywhere, and Celeste has been the person that I have implicitly trusted. She's behind the scenes doing every single thing. This totally would not have been possible without her. You have been literally my third leg and my third arm, and seriously, the backbone of what we're doing. You're so, no, but you're so good at what you do. She's a producer and she's a freelancer, and I have to know that you are going to be doing this as long as you ever want to, because you're so good at it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so what you're getting is an edit from Photographer's Edit. One lucky winner by retweeting this code.
All right. Drum roll.
Fizza Raza.
Is it Raza?
And I've seen her tweeting a lot, so
That's
awesome.
good.
Very, very cool. All
10
right.
minutes ago. Way to go.
Where is she from? We don't know.
Doesn't say.
All right, cool. Well, congratulations to Fizza.
Woohoo.
All right, so I'm kind of awkwardly positioned to take it. So let's see here. Let me get through my intro. We don't need, well, you guys know. We got, how many, we got like 3 hours left. There's 3 hours left for you to take advantage of the $99. And I just want to go through a list of people, a list of credits on who's been involved. Do it. Oh, it's right now. So, thank you.
I was like,
So-
where was that photo taken?
So this thing that we're doing here at Creative Live just wouldn't be possible without a host of people that are helping make this work behind the scenes. So we just want to take a few minutes and just thank everybody. I've got Celeste up here with me. I mean, she's been, you know, as Jasmine said, the kind of the force behind the scenes, getting everything to happen at the right time. She was up till 5:30 at night.
With volunteers.
With volunteers.
Chase Jarvis was there with us, picking up chairs.
Yeah.
A couple of you guys.
But, all right. So first of all, thanks for B&H, who is providing all the equipment, not all the equipment, but a huge amount of equipment that we are using behind the scenes, both here and at the wedding location, in order to make this possible. Of course, a big thanks to Jasmine Starr. This would be
Cool.
And personally, you know, we can only put out the energy here at Creative Live that matches what you bring, what our guests bring, and you brought it.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for making this all, you know, worth the effort we put into it.
You've given me a huge opportunity.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Second
Okay.
You know, folks, I don't even want to imagine what this seminar would have been like without JD here. Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And our wedding designer, Danielle Faget. And of course,
Awesome.
it's the Creative Live 5. The Fab 5. All right.
Chase Jarvis and Craig Swanson.
Hey, Craig.
And we're gonna get in some of the kind of the back end people. So I'm gonna actually let Celeste kind of thank her crew that she's been basically running.
Oh, well, that's me. That's awkward.
So I'd like to thank Celeste, who's basically made this all possible.
We've gone over that.
Exactly.
Sarah's done
Sarah's been huge, and Sarah can't be here because she was so busy back at her place making basically the last task she had to do was put together all the thank yous. So she's been basically sending us files and getting this ready in the background while we've been hiding in the corner getting ready to close this up. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
And Sarah is a producer plus. She's so much more than the producer. She knows all the technical stuff that I don't know. So there's not
Way to
really a
go,
name for it.
Sarah.
Producer plus. She'll like
Producer
that.
plus. I like that.
All right.
So we have Adam Bauer. You've been hearing him back there. And so they have all gone in. Again, all of these guys are just so much more than just audio video. They've been, helping us load stuff, breaking into lockers so we can get the equipment we need. It was our own locker, but it was a late night break-in. I mean, these guys were also there like late at night helping us load all this stuff, and they've just been fantastic. So thank you guys.
And our camera operator.
Yes, we have John,
Yay.
Lawrence, Amber. Corey's not with us. And Amber was also our DP, and again, everyone was helping rigging lights and hauling stuff and, milking their acquaintances to get the equipment we needed to make this happen too. So,
Yeah.
Cam Ops Plus again.
Cute.
Really good job on
And Ross laying back there. I think
Ross.
he was up till,
Way to go.
I don't know how late he was up the other night, but I came by at 1 or like 2, and he was still here editing in the morning. So he's been behind the scenes hard working every night. And of course, Susan and Kenny.
All right.
These are good photos.
Yes. And our
chat hosts you've never seen.
yeah, you guys haven't seen these guys, but Michael, David, Arlene, and Bruce have all been hard work in the background, making sure that we're giving out the proper thanks to all the vendors that have helped us out.
Thank you.
Michael's
so
the,
much.
yes, and Michael, oh my gosh, he was there till 5:30 with us and just helping clean up. I mean, he's probably been as much on this project as I have, and I don't even think we're paying him, are we?
No.
So I mean, he's just
Actually, I should say, I think Michael won this experience. Michael's like on a 3-day contest he won for submitting some photos to Amazon for a Chase Jarvis book. And so what's he win? He gets to stay up till 5:30 in the morning. But it's okay, because I think he stretched out his 3-day visit to like a month and a half now. Something like that. 1 month, okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Michael.
He's
Seriously,
my friend.
Michael.
He's done-
Thank you.
he's done the things too.
Seriously, thank you.
And then huge number
A lot of these, yeah. I mean, this was, we kept tweeting out, and the chat hosts were asking for volunteers to help flip the space from a wedding to the Foodistas event, and from the Foodistas event to our wedding event. We had to go back and forth. I don't know if you know the whole debacle on that, but there was a lot of flipping, and we absolutely would not have done it without the Creative Live people that stepped up. All the people here watching it would just, they'd be on and they'd hear chat hosts say, hey, come on down to Theo, and we just had like this swarm of people contacting us saying, let me help, and they were there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours helping us out. So thank you.
Thank you. I think it's worth applause just for that.
Yes.
And of course,
Theo.
Theo's Chocolate.
Theo's Chocolate, thank you. And we had Deborah and Audrey down there just spearheading this. We've been a little bit of a headache to them, I think, but
We've been a big headache.
hopefully it was worth it.
They've rolled with us on that. Yeah. And another group that's rolled with us is Foodista. Huge thank you, Foodista. They were putting on probably one of the biggest things they do every year, which is the International Food Bloggers Conference. And they willingly allowed us to come in the day before their big food bloggers conference, basically take over their space to put on a wedding, and then with the promise that we would put it back together, which is why we needed that huge volunteer list. And I have been down there since, and it was just going fabulous, really, really cool. And I think actually you'll be able to hear a little bit more about that from Chase in future, maybe next week. Cool.
Hey, Foodistas.
Yes.
And of course, special thanks to Kirsty Weber. Or is it Weber?
Weber.
Sorry. She joined us on our Monday updates that we had, and Junebug Weddings has been great to promote this all along the way. So big thank you to them.
Absolutely.
Definitely, they're amazing. Those girls have been so amazing.
All right, and then let's see here. There's just so many things. We got so many people to thank for making the wedding event itself. And Chase mentioned a lot of these people, but B&H Photo Video, first of all, for a lot of things. You know, linens by BBJ Linen, Bella Signature Design, of course, Daniela, who did the design, Bella Vita Planning that did all the paper goods. You know, we rented additional gear that we needed from Bexel, flower arrangements by Bloom, Bridal Family, the bridal jewelry from Brooklyn Grace Jewelry, typography from Command Shift Design. That was for the invitations that were made for the wedding. There's a lot of additional AV gear that we also got from Glazier's Camera Rental here in Seattle. Yeah, you can push the button. And makeup by Jenny. Jenny Bauer. I think we've got is it Bowker?
I think it's Bauer.
Bauer.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
We may have a typo.
No, it's Bowker.
Is Bowker? Okay, Jenny Bowker. Jubilee, the band, both who are letting us use the music for the slideshow, but also during the whole event. Lucinda's Cakes of Distinction that basically did the cakes, and we hope to see more of Lucinda in the future.
I hope so.
I hope so. Invitations from Oafi?
They were good.
Yeah, the chairs from Pacific Party Canopies, those were, they really made the place. They really made the place, and they were one of the last-minute details that really got worked out.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Piccola Press from Invitations, the Bridesmaids.
McCall over at Chase Jarvis did those.
She did those?
She did those.
That's
No,
pretty
she
cool.
didn't. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Raina Coleman for the Bridesmaids' hair. The catering was by Russell Dean Lowell Catering, and the bride's hair was by Seven Salon. Very, very
Another
cool.
one more.
All right, and of course, the Theo's Chocolate, once again, Westlake Electronic got us some additional gear, and then Eric Hecht came in with us with some extra gear we needed, and Alex Wash also really helped out with some additional gear we needed to actually shoot the wedding itself.
Right. And we want to say that, I mean, these people all gave us just either huge discounts or not free, but trade. I mean, but I mean, all these people just gave us, I mean, the resounding, oh my gosh.
Everyone, this place wouldn't be possible without a lot of support from a lot of people.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know how close to the end we are. Oh, and all the prizes, yeah, that we gave away. So we got Kubota, you know, Leather Craftsman, Photographers Edit, Shoot Sack, Show It, White House Custom Color, WPPI, both for the conference and the road trip. This, you know, that's a huge part of us being able to attract the audience. I mean, you know, those prizes at the beginning have a real structural and strategic purpose for us. We needed those retweets in order to be able to make the type of impact we've made over this weekend.
These companies are so amazing,
Yeah.
and I truly do appreciate them.
Thank you. Oh, perfect way to segue in. And of course, Laura and Billy. You know, this whole experience would not, you know, they were the center of everything. So Laura and Billy, you know, we wish you the best marriage, the best longest term marriage, you know, possible. Much joy, much happiness, wherever you are right now on your honeymoon. Thank you very much. Congratulations. All right.
Anything else?
No, I've spoken a lot. Thank you, thank you,
All right.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I can say Ron in the chat room says, thanks, CL. You have set a very high standard for others to follow.
Word.
All right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, and thank you. I guess I should have had a slide. Thank you. All the people.
Yeah,
What camera is
internet.
working right now? Number one. So thank you, everybody that is online watching this, because really, this, personally for me, I'm living my dream right now. This I love doing, and none of this would be possible. There's no way that we'd be able to do this without the support from you guys around the world. You may think we're giving to you, but you are giving to us in such a huge way to make this possible. So just thank you for helping tell your friends, for making this possible, for being supportive. We get such amazing support. When we need help, people respond, and we have needed help so many times along the way to make this possible. I mean, this is this place. There are so many reasons why this place should not exist. And one at a time, you guys help make it possible. So thank you very much.
Truly.
Maybe a final round of applause for Craig. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the dreamer. He's the dreamer.
Tie-dye today.
Well, so I finish off every Sunday. People are tweeting about this, but it's Jasmine's audience, so I didn't think they'd know why I'd be walking around in tie-dye. But basically, every Sunday, I'm normally at home, so I wear tie-dye, so my kids watch me know that I'm thinking about them because we make tie-dye together every year.
Oh, well, then take off the shirt. Take it off. Take
it
off.
I will unbutton it. I'm not taking it off.
Awesome. Craig, thank you so much again.
So that's me.
Yay.
Thank you.
Oh, and we did it.
Oh, wow.